wondered what a world without tigers or orangutans would look like? Trust me, it's not just sad, it's dangerous. Extinction is when a species disappears from our planet permanently. Imagine erasing a character from your favorite show and they never come back. That's it, gone for good. Now, biodiversity loss is when we lose not just a few species, but a whole web of living things. Plants, animals, even tiny microbes. It's like deleting random apps from your phone. Suddenly, nothing works quite right. Why does this matter globally? Well, every species plays a role. Lose one, and it can mess up food chains, agriculture, even our climate. Plus, millions rely on forests, oceans, and wildlife for food, jobs, and medicine. Let's get local. Right here in Southeast Asia, including Malaysia, our rainforests are home to some of the world's rarest creatures, like the Malayan tiger and orangutan. But rapid deforestation and illegal hunting mean they're on the brink. Biodiversity loss isn't just a nature problem, it's a people problem. It affects what we eat, the air we breathe, and the stability of our economies. The good news? If we act now, support conservation, reduce waste, and learn more, we can make a difference. Our planet's story is still being written. Will you help keep its cast of characters alive?
Alright, picture this. You're walking through a lush, vibrant rainforest. The air is buzzing with life. Birds flit overhead, frogs are croaking somewhere nearby, and there's a rustle in the leaves as a monkey swings past. But what if I told you that scientists don't just see animals as part of the scenery? They're actually using them as living warning signs, bioindicators, to check up on the health of these amazing rainforests. Now let me break it down. Imagine the rainforest is like a giant, super complicated machine. And the animals, well, they're kind of like the warning lights on the dashboard of your car. When things are running smoothly, the lights are off. But if something's wrong, boom, a light flashes, and you know you better pay attention. So, how do scientists actually use animals as bioindicators? They look for certain species that are super sensitive to changes in their environment. Take frogs, for example. Frogs have thin skin and they spend a lot of time in water. That means if there's pollution or if the climate shifts even a little, frogs are often the first to react. If scientists notice frog populations dropping or weird changes in their behavior, it's a big red flag that something's up. Birds are another big one. Some species only live in certain kinds of forests or at specific heights in the trees. If those birds disappear, it usually means the forest is changing. Maybe trees are being cut down or the climate's getting warmer. By tracking birds, scientists can spot these problems early, sometimes before they get out of hand. Even tiny insects play a role. There's a beetle in South American rainforests that only survives in super healthy forests. If those beetles start disappearing, it's a sign that the forest might be in trouble. Even if everything else still looks normal, it's like having tiny detectives crawling around, sniffing out clues. But here's the coolest part. By focusing on these animal bioindicators, scientists don't have to test every single part of the rainforest. Animals do the hard work, telling us when things are off. This helps researchers make quick decisions and take action, whether that's protecting a patch of forest or figuring out what's polluting the water. So, next time you hear a frog croak or see a bird fly by, remember? They're not just living their best life. They might be sending us a message about the health of the whole rainforest.
If you don't like getting lost in the dark, but still want to study bats, then these monitoring techniques will be your new best friends. First up, remote sensing. Imagine tracking bats with gadgets that use sound, not sight. Scientists set up ultrasonic detectors in forests to capture the unique echolocation calls bats use to navigate. By analyzing these calls, we can figure out which bat species are around, how many there are, and even what time they're most active, all without ever catching a single bat. Next, let's talk about DNA barcoding. Picture this. You collect a tiny sample, maybe some bat guano or a bit of fur, then extract its DNA back in the lab. By sequencing a small section of that DNA, researchers can accurately identify the species, even if two bats look almost identical. It's like CSI, but for conservation. So why do these techniques matter? In biodiversity conservation programs, monitoring bats tells us a lot about ecosystem health. Bats eat tons of insects and help pollinate plants. So if their populations drop, it's a red flag for the whole environment. These high-tech tools help conservationists track bat diversity, spot threats early, and measure the success of habitat restoration projects. Bottom line, ecological monitoring is like having superpowers for science, letting us protect bats and by extension, the ecosystems they support.
Bats are increasingly acknowledged by scientists and conservationists as highly valuable bioindicators due to their acute sensitivity to environmental changes, widespread distribution, and the vital ecological roles they perform, including pollination, seed dispersal, and insect control. Because their populations respond rapidly to habitat disturbances and ecosystem imbalances, bats can serve as early warning signs of environmental degradation. Their presence, diversity, and behavioral patterns are often used to assess the overall health of ecosystems, making them an effective tool in ecological monitoring across a range of habitats. In Malaysia, a growing body of research has focused on how bats reflect habitat quality, biodiversity, and ecological integrity, particularly in response to deforestation, agricultural expansion, and urban development. These studies have demonstrated that shifts in bat populations can be closely linked to environmental changes, making them valuable indicators for tracking ecological resilience and guiding sustainable land management. As a result, bats are playing an increasingly important role in informing conservation strategies and shaping land use policies. Their use as bioindicators not only enhances scientific understanding of Malaysia's rich tropical ecosystems but also supports efforts to protect its unique biological heritage in the face of ongoing environmental pressures.
Butterflies provide a fast, cost-effective snapshot of forest health in Malaysian habitats due to their tractable taxonomy, ease of survey, and clear diversity patterns. They are sensitive to habitat changes, making them reliable indicators of forest structure and quality. Their higher taxa are broadly distributed, while many species are habitat specialists, allowing for both general and site-specific assessments. As pollinators with close ties to vegetation, butterflies reflect changes in the lower trophic levels and can be used to quickly gauge ecological shifts.
Hi there, I'm Biko the Bat, your forest health detective. Scientists call me a bioindicator, and here's why.
Healthy bats mean healthy forests. Keep listening, and together we'll keep nature thriving.
Forget spooky stories. Bats are actually superheroes for our environment. Bats might be small, but they play a huge role in keeping our ecosystems in balance. Because bats are sensitive to changes in their surroundings, scientists use them as bioindicators. This means if bat populations are thriving, it's a good sign the environment is doing well too. But if bats start to disappear, it can warn us about pollution, habitat loss, or climate change, sometimes before we see any other signs. That's why monitoring bats is so important. It helps us catch problems early and protect all the amazing creatures that share our planet. So next time you see a bat flutter by, remember, they're not just cool animals, they're guardians of our planet's future.